good to make a lot of noise. In this chapter, I want to talk about playing notes that burn. And what I mean by that is that pretty much anything that Jimi ever played had an intensity level that is unmatched. There was sure wasn't the guy before him that played on that intensity. And even later, even today's standard, Jimi's intensity is still way up there. Kind of like maybe comparable with Stevie Ray Vaughan or people like that. But there's very few players that play like that. And it has a lot to do with the left-hand phrasing and with digging in hard. Especially on the left hand, not so much on the right hand. So I want to talk about a few custom approaches that make your notes burn. One we already talked about. One is bending. For sure, one very important one. I can make the same phrase sound and feel so different. You know, if I just kind of play it very neutrally, it would sound like this. Or I can play it like this. Another term that some guitar players use is milking the notes. It's like milking a cow, you know, you really want to squeeze out the emotion out of every note that you play. And one thing that definitely helps that is fuzz, which, you know, just makes the note more overwhelming. I'm using a Golden Cello by Mad Professor, but really any fuzz will work. Mind you, I'm not using a tube amp, so it's really possible to get this kind of tone with a pretty minimal setup. You can check out my gear setup in the attached PDF below. The next thing I want to talk about is wah pedal. Jimi is definitely famous for his use of wah pedal. If you never have used a wah pedal with a fuzz pedal in conjunction, now is the time to try this out. You can get some real awesome percussive effects with that. And you know, just try to be very musical with it. I actually like to move my wah pretty slow. Of course, you can use it in quarter notes, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But you can also use it slower. And then when you solo, you can really make some intense phrasing with. See how you can connect the wah pedal with your bands and really get vocal and expressive with that. And by the way, that's that double stop bend that we were already learning in the lesson about bending. So you see, you get this intensity level. It's mainly about the intensity, and the gesture much more than the actual note being played. And then the third element that comes into play is the whammy bar, and that really brings things over the top. Let me give you a little summary. Ways to make your notes burn. Number one, excessive use of bends and vibrato, and slides as well. Number two, use of fuzz pedal to make your notes soar. Number three, use a wah pedal for some real vocal effects and expression in your notes. Number four, use of the whammy bar. Not only dive bombs, but also vibrato type phrasing on individual notes. Okay, and now it's time for you to put on the attached jam track and try out all those techniques. But don't forget, you don't want to practice this just in one key. You want to take this to all 12 keys and practice it over the whole fretboard.